The second Thanksgiving is what's represented right here on this pole. Mystic Massacre is what we call it. The Pequot War. It goes by many names. It happened in 1637 down in Connecticut. Owners of the now established Foxwoods. The Pequot people were burned alive in the middle of their sleep at night in 1637. Mass Bay Colony, Plymouth Colony, Providence Plantation, Mystic Seaport, all English colonies banded together to burn women and children while they slept in a village at night. They barricaded the exit. They did not allow anyone to leave. They wanted them to burn. They were proud that they burned. This country was proud to write. We could smell their burning, rotting flesh for over a mile away. It's written, folks. Please read it on your own. I am not making this up. Stephen King can't make this up. He was so proud, the town of Norwich, Connecticut, had a statue honoring this man up until roughly a decade ago. John Mason, the man who murdered over 700 people. When anyone, the few people who were able to survive that Holocaust, they were rounded up. They were sold as slaves. Before they were sold, they were marched all the way from Connecticut to Mass Bay Colony, present-day Boston. They were placed on trial. They were declared to be sold as slaves. But before they sent them on that slave ship, they had to humiliate them some more. And they read a declaration that those people shall not ever, once again, even utter the word Pequot. They will no longer be able to call themselves a Pequot. I am proud to say, I'm a Mashantucket Pequot. This is the history, folks. Because that particular day, that particular incident is when this country declared its second religious day of Thanksgiving. This is what we're celebrating, folks. And for all of you who took pictures of me with my nice little pilgrim head buddy here, I hope you get the story that goes with it. Because anyone who sees this, I'm sure, thinks I'm a sick, twisted individual. This is a reminder. This is what Hallmark greeting cards and Charlie Brown cartoons should be showing when we celebrate this holiday every year, when we celebrate Columbus Day every year, because this is what it represented. I'm going to shut my mouth so we can get on way with this march through town, because we need all of you who are here to get this story out to the people. I can only visit so many schools in this time that I am here on this earth. And I can only visit those who are welcome to hearing the truth and invite me to do so. I encourage all of you to do the same. I look out and I see in this crowd, I see some people that I've been at their schools, and they are here now, standing in solidarity. I really appreciate this. It means they're listening. Somebody's listening, and they don't appreciate what's going on. This symbol right here, we're going to march all the way around, and we're going to make one stop at the church where King Philip's head sat on a pole until it rotted for over 20 some odd years. For those of you who do not know who King Philip was, he was the man who started the most patriotic uprising this country will ever see, when its native people stood against these forces and this manner of warfare. During King Philip's war, when King Philip abducted Mary Rawlinson, she reported in her own writings she was treated with far greater respect by this savage than she was by her own people. Our women were topless. There was no rape. We did not need abortions. The word matumwasus is what we call our women. It does not mean woman. It means she who makes all decisions. We had a high respect for our women. That was something Pilgrims never understood and still does not translate into America today. Square buildings that cost us so much to heat, to build, to cool, because we're sheltering ourselves from what's going on in the natural world. I've never seen a bird build a square bird's nest. That is the most absurd thing, and Americans still repeat this European nonsense. When are we going to come up and show the rest of the world what should have always been there when we first tried to get our teachings across in the 1600s? Listen to us. We're not saying we're better. We're just saying this works in nature. This here pole, King Philip, when he was killed, he was cut into pieces. The man who killed him was a Wampanoag, shot him in his own back. He got the hand of King Philip, Metacom. He got to parade around anywhere in New England, any tavern he showed up with that scarred hand of Philip. He got free drinks as long as he was there, because people were proud of him, that he had killed his own people. His head was severed, King Philip's head. King Philip is the son of Massasoit. Massasoit comes running to these people's aid just a generation before. And that's when they supposedly had their first Thanksgiving. Well, their third day of Thanksgiving was declared when they brought his son's head in on a pole and left it to rot for 20 odd years. So I'm going to walk this around Plymouth right now, and I'm going to remind folks of what we're celebrating here today. And I encourage all of you to get out to a library, get out to a school, even if it's your own. It better be your own kid's school, because this is what they're teaching your kids. I excuse my kids from school whenever they're being asked to dress up as pilgrims and Indians. There's so many injustices still going on every day here, folks. Every day. This language I have to speak just so people understand me on my own continent is a tragedy. I hate these clothes. There is so much we talk. There's pavement on my hunting grounds. Our clams being polluted. These clams make my stories. My ink doesn't smear. We need our history. These things are still important to us. I was very glad to hear my Lakota brother speaking about what the land is still important to us as Native people. Not all of us are about casinos. Many of us still believe the origins for why we were put here in the first place, to protect this land and to maintain the balance amongst all creations. Plant, animal, winged, fish, finned, does not matter. We are all beings here on our Mother Earth. So I'm going to ask all of you to please stand with me. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what religion you're from. I don't care if you're Romney or Obama. We're human beings, and we need to stand up for humanity.
Greetings, my relatives, friends, and supporters. It is with great honor that I get a chance to speak with you, even though it's a written message and someone has to read it to you. I'm saddened that we have to call this a day of mourning, but we must take every opportunity to remind this nation when it comes to keeping their word about treaties, about human rights, about the environment, about excessive pollution, that it has failed miserably on all of those concerns. Also, I want to remind the major religions that speak about peace, love, brotherhood, and are celebrating this thing called Thanksgiving, that we, the native people of this land, realistically, overall, have nothing to truly be thankful about regarding the arrival of the pilgrims. And I would also like to remind the major various religions of this country that in all their teachings it says you reap what you sow. And if that is a true statement, if that is the law given by the Creator, then you have to only look around at the news of the day to see what that statement is coming to pass. This country is not keeping its solemn word under God that it gave regarding our treaties. And they don't keep their own scriptures. And they say not to bear false witness or lie. And they've tried to keep us from honoring our fathers and destroying our culture. They violated their word where it says, "Thou shalt not kill." Violated every one of their commandments regarding our people in this land. And they will truly reap what they sow. I also want to say that in the spirit of compassion and reason and fairness and forgiveness and it's never too late to turn things around. Actually, I should say, that's not quite correct. It can be too late. That's an old Cheyenne saying that a nation is never destroyed until the hearts of its women are on the ground. And if you look around, you will see the decline of America. And it is entirely possible that that teaching is not far off. One thing as a people that we do have to be thankful for, and thankful to the Creator only. And we still live. We are still a people. And we still know who we are. We still have a commitment to the Creator to protect this land. We still have a commitment to protect the laws of nature that were given unto us, to our ancestors. We are probably the only people on this continent that would be better off if this whole system fell apart, because we possess the knowledge, the teaching, and the culture to live in harmony with what the Creator has given to us. I want to encourage all young people to always remember that your health, the health of the earth, are the most important things that you possess. And that self-discipline is the most important thing that you can learn. And taking responsibility for ourselves and our future is the most empowering thing that we can do. Right now, you are listening to my words, the words of a man in prison for 30-something years. A man who has limited contact, and yet I am able to speak to you now. And the reason I am saying this is because with all the freedom that you do possess, you could do so much more. Educate yourself to our true history. Educate yourself to what is really going on today, and educate yourself as to what needs to be done to make a better tomorrow for yourselves and your children's children, our future generations. Again, I want to say I am an ordinary man caught up in extraordinary circumstances. There is nothing that I have done or said that you cannot do or say. And much better because you possess more freedom than I do. We need each other. If I am ever to be free, I need you. And the truth is, none of us are truly free right now, because any people who is afraid of their government is not free. We all need to be warriors of one. Each needs to know how to defend themselves on any level. And as I have said before, we need to recapture the freedoms we've lost and protect the ones we still have. In closing, I want to encourage each and every one of you to stand up in your own way, in whatever way you can, for what's right. Try to right what's wrong, and know that in my heart and whatever way I can, I will help you, that I will be with you also. We need each other. You need each other. And we need the help of all people to correct this great damage that is taking place throughout the earth. Our battle is not a race. Our battle is not with people of color. Our battle is with ignorance and greed that is ruling the governments of men today. Again, I want to thank you in the spirit of Crazy Horse, and all those beautiful people that have stood up for what's right in the past, and the ones standing up now. Stay strong and support one another. Your friend, always and in all ways, Leonard Peltier.